Hey everyone, it's me, your host, Jason Crespin. Thursdays at 3, October 29th. I don't have a theme show or theme song yet, but I have this little cute little video clip of Countdown. It had some fun little music. So I was like, yeah, we're gonna bop to that, as the kids say. Back in my day, it was just bop to the top. Now they're like bopping. They're like, ooh, that's a good bop. And I'm like, I don't even know what all that means. But people are watching. Ooh, Wesley, look at that. Love the music. Thank you, Wesley. Hey, maybe Mabry. Glad you're watching. Glad you're watching, Wesley, Braden, all of our loyal viewers. I love it. I love it. Thursdays at 3, loyal viewers. So glad you guys are tuning in. Hopefully everyone is warm. It has been cold. Oh my gosh, we got some weather. Hopefully people have power. Hopefully people have heat, all that good stuff. Hopefully everyone is staying safe. The sun is shining, so it's melting things, which is fantastic. And today, in fact, is our first day of actual classes back in session at the Little Theater Academy, at ALT Academy. We have had to cancel classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because of weather. And so we are back to having classes today, which is so exciting. So we hope all of our instructors and our students today have great classes. It's gonna be nice to have kids back. Thanks, Susan, liking the intro. I like it too. I was like, what is this little video over here? And then I clicked on it, and yeah, so we'll still work on some sort of theme song at some point, but for now we'll have at least a countdown. So yeah, so a lot of things going on this week, even though our office was closed parts of the day and classes were canceled, we still had a lot of stuff going on at the theater. One thing is sad. We want to share some sad news with you guys. Long story short, through extensive kind of debate back and forth and trying to figure out what the best option is for the theater and checking with different individuals in town and health officials and different things like that, just a lot of factors went into it. But Alan and the theater, we basically the production of Matilda has been canceled. Wah, wah. It's so sad. My heart breaks for all of the cast members of Matilda. They were just about to start blocking rehearsals. They had done a little bit of choreography and had done all the music rehearsals. As you know, Matilda just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And some people are like, well, you guys have done other shows. Like, why is Matilda being the one that has to be canceled? And luckily, we've been able to do 3 plays. Of course, with the Humans, 10,000 Problems of a Teenage Girl, and The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. And they, 10,000 Problems did have a little bit bigger cast, but it was just one weekend. And also, these are all plays. Musicals is kind of a different story. And so Matilda had such a big cast. Of course, that cast was had been posted, had already been cast pre-COVID. And so just to be safe and to make sure things are okay, the plug has been pulled, sadly, on Matilda. Again, my heart breaks for everyone in that show. Alan is going to be looking at a show to replace that. So be on the lookout for either whether it be audition information or just information about what might be coming down the pike for that time slot. So be on the lookout for that. I'm sure there'll be emails being sent out and all that good stuff. Speaking of shows, though, a production of Good People that's going to be opening up in November. They have been rehearsing away. In fact, Brandon Dawson sent me a photo. They had a digital rehearsal the other night. They didn't let them down. They still had a digital Zoom rehearsal, if you will, so you can see cast members there. We're still working on their craft, getting that show ready to go for all of us at the Adventure Space. We had It's a Wonderful Life. We were supposed to have a cast meeting on Monday. We postponed it digitally to Tuesday. And then, in fact, yesterday, even though we had bad weather, we had a digital blocking rehearsal over StreamYard. That's right. We met. I showed them where to stand. I showed them what to say, how to say, all that good stuff. We had a great blocking rehearsal. And in fact, also last night, I believe Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime also had a Zoom pickup rehearsal for their line reading. Basically, between shows, cast get together and kind of go quickly through the lines, just kind of brush up before they have a show tonight. We're so excited that the sun is shining and that everything's melting, so that way our cast of the Curious Incident of the Dog and the Nighttime can perform their shows tonight and this weekend. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend of live theater. I got to see the show on opening night, and guys, it is so good. And speaking of the show, we have a fantastic special guest. You know her, you love her. Let's bring her on, Miss Shannon Mashburn. Hey, Miss Shannon, I'm gonna pull up our names so we can see our names. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. It's finally starting to get warm, and with everything melting off, my fingers are crossed that the audience is going to show up tonight. And it's always great to be alive on a show day.
I know, all right? Yes, it's like show day. I love it. I love it. Now, where you are in, this is your classroom, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me about your roof, the ceiling.
Well, I can give you a little tour.
Yes, I'm gonna go big.
There's my ceiling.
So
cool. Of course, the schools have ugly tile dropped ceilings, and I got sick of looking at the ugly tiles. So, movie posters, and there's the kids that showed up today.
Yeah, you all get an A today from Jason. An A, all an A. Yeah.
From Jason. He doesn't crazy.
I don't count at all.
Yeah, there's just lots of, my room is full of theater stuff.
In fact, Miss Shannon's room is so cool. There are memorabilia from ALT shows in your room, which I think is so cool.
There are. We should have one day, Thursdays at 3, we should have like a scavenger hunt.
I know, right? Yes.
If they can find the memorabilia.
During one of our downtowns, we might say, if you have memorabilia up in your house or room, just take a picture, send it, and we'll post it on Facebook and say, whose room? Yeah, you do have a lot. You know who also has a lot? Ian Avila, randomly. I feel Ian Avila has a museum of ALT.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Like, where did that prop go? I don't know. Call Ian, see if he has it first before we start looking for it. I love it.
But I've got memorabilia in my room that I'm not supposed to have. I've got stuff that was taken off of a set that I wasn't supposed to have. But one of my favorite things, and this is a shout out to David Walsh, is this. Oh wait, this.
Yeah, I was gonna say the from Assassin's show. I love that. That. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. They were throwing that away, and I said,
"Yay for my daughter!" I love it.
Mom,
I love it.
My one fan.
Courtney says that's very cool, Shannon. I know she has some cool stuff.
Yeah, I've got really cool stuff, but yeah, I do have stuff that I've taken off of sets that was probably supposed to be put in prop heaven.
We're like, where did that lobby couch go?
Okay, yeah, I don't have anything like that. Little things that I could put in my pocket.
Yeah,
don't tell anybody.
No, not at all. Not at all. So yay. So Curious Incident, The Dog in the Nighttime. Fantastic job again. Kudos seriously to everyone. I saw the show on Friday and I just loved the show. I thought, especially Shannon, your performance was fantastic. It's it's a hard role because you definitely, it's one of those roles where like might not be this huge dramatic moment or this, crazy comedic moment. And we've seen both from you before, you know what I mean? You can definitely make us laugh. You can make us cry. And it's just this beautiful, like layered performance that is subtle and when it needs to be subtle, but then is full force when it needs to be full force. So kudos to your performance, Shannon. I thought it was so strong.
Thank you.
We'll talk about your performance in the show, but tell us, well, first, who do you play in the show for those people who have yet to see it, and what is the show about?
Right. I play Siobhan, which is spelled Siobhan.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's so hard to know how to say your name. Yeah.
Sorry, my kids are crawling around in the background. I play Siobhan, who is a teacher. And so, I mean, that was a stretch for me. Anyway, she is a teacher at a school for special needs children and gets to be really close with Christopher, who's the main character, and kind of becomes a confidant and trusted friend for Christopher. But I mean, that's kind of the goal of any teacher, I think.
Sure.
And for those of you who don't know what it's about, it is a story told from Christopher's point of view. He is an autistic 15-year-old boy who loves animals, especially dogs, and discovers that his neighbor's dog has been murdered and decides that he is going to solve the mystery and ends up opening up a bag of worms that rocks his world to the core and finds out family secrets and changes him forever. It was originally a book, which I read the book when it first came out and loved it. And I would just fell in love with the story. And then it was turned into a play. And I didn't get to see it on Broadway, but I got to see the Broadway tour. And and then I've seen, they've also filmed the Broadway one of the Broadway performances, and they screened it through Fathom Events. And so I've seen the show twice, once live and then once on film. And it's an amazing story.
So you were familiar with the show, and so was it something that you were like, if I ever get a chance to audition for it, I want to audition for it?
Oh, absolutely. I got to see the Broadway tour in its first run in Houston. And I was sitting next to my friend Alex Easterling, and I looked over at her and I said, I've got to play the teacher someday. I've got to play that role. And, you know, I just thought if I ever get a chance to even audition, it's going to be, you know, a chance that I've got to take. And then to be cast in this role was absolutely a bucket list item. It was a dream come true. And getting to jump into her shoes every night and be her, it's just, like I said, it's a bucket list role, and I am so lucky that I get to do this. I'm so lucky.
Well, but you do it so well, which is fantastic. Dennis says her and Trey's parts are best parts to date. Oh my gosh, agreed. And you have some great roles that you've played before, but I think too, I love this. Brian says Shannon is so talented and such an awesome mentor. Tis true. And then Susan said, "Yep, one part she had always wanted to do for sure." You got fans. Shannon is an amazing actress. It's the truth. It is the truth. You might know what this. I don't know. Hide your possessions, valuables, projectors. I don't know what that means, Dennis. But yes, hide all those things. Hide all those things. Wesley said, "Are the shows still going?" Yes, Wesley. This is now the second weekend of shows. There's shows tonight at 7:30, Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock, and Sunday at 2:30. We're going to talk more about what tickets are left for that. I have some great sneak peek photos that Criselda sent us of just some moments of the show that I think are just brilliant. There's a moment where he discovers some things in his house. I just love that moment. Of course, Twin Wellington the dog was murdered. And it's such a cool kind of twist on how that moment just spurs off this whole kind of journey and adventure that he goes on. It's just insane. Zeke Lewis there playing the dad, and has done a great job with that role as well. The ensemble is packed with seasoned performers, of course, some new people as well. All of them.
Toby the Rat.
Yes, and the rat. Yes. And we don't want to give too much away when you come see the show, but the technical elements of this show are absolutely fantastic. They have not been done on the ALT stage before, and so you guys definitely are in for a treat with this show. I just loved that, like you said, your relationship with Trey. Had you worked with Trey before? I can't remember.
I have not worked with Trey before. This is my first opportunity to work with him. Of course, I've seen him on stage many times, starting with James and the Giant Peach. When he was 5. But this is my first chance I've never directed him. I've never had him in camp. I've never been in a show with him. And so it's been wonderful. He is amazing. And I mean, to get to stand there every night beside him and watch him work is just, it's amazing. He is an incredible talent, and I can't wait to see where he goes in the future, because and it's amazing how he can just get himself into this character so easily, and he has so many little ticks and gestures and things that he's developed for Christopher that, I mean, really are master level. I mean, and there's moments of the show where it really does take your breath away with the performance that he's giving, for sure, where you're just like, oh my gosh, having to do that every night and whew, it's a lot for sure. And through the rehearsal process, I've really been thinking about who is Siobhan, because the story is told kind of out of order. There's a lot of flashbacks, and it goes kind of back and forth in time. And Siobhan is really the only one who kind of stays at the same moment in time. Everybody else is going back and forth. That's
so true. Yeah.
Because she's the narrator type character. She's reading Christopher's story, and then you find out at the end why she's reading it. But it's really interesting because as I've watched him work, I've figured out, honestly, kind of late in my process, which is kind of embarrassing that I didn't figure this out earlier, but I figured out that she really is almost his psyche. You know, she's like his shadow in a lot of ways. And at one point in time, as I was doing character development, I was thinking, you know, does Siobhan really exist?
Sure.
You know,
it could definitely be not.
Or
it could be in his
because
mind.
the whole, and especially with the technical elements and the way that the set is designed, and you know, the brilliant projections that Dennis Humphrey has designed, and the beautiful lighting that Tana gave us, and this amazing set that Alan designed. You get to see what's going on in Christopher's head.
Yeah.
And the sound design that Alan has given us.
The sound. Oh my gosh, agreed. So cool. The sound is so cool. When you guys, if you get a chance to see it, just take a little note and listen to the sound. The sound moments, I was just like, this is so cool.
Because the whole thing was designed about what does the inside of Christopher's head look like. And at one point in time, I sat there and I thought, maybe Siobhan is just there in Christopher's head, you know, because the only character that she interacts with is Christopher until the end. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's that one.
Sure. Well, I think, you know what I think with the show, when I got done watching it, I mean, everyone plays so many different parts in the ensemble and different things like that. But when I got done, I thought, you know, Christopher's character, Trey's character, he's really the brains of the show. He's the brains and is constantly thinking. And I think your character is the heartbeat of the show. That has that constant rhythm of just of guiding the show along, but does it in a loving way. You know what I mean? It's not just facts. It has that compassion and has that emotion behind it.
Yeah, and my favorite scene, I don't want to give anything away, but my favorite scene is kind of a climactic point for Trey's character with his father, Zeke, and the way that Alan blocked me to react to this violent moment.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I loved it. I was like, oh, I'm so glad she reacted to that.
It's my favorite moment in the scene. And I mean, I feel like that's where you really see, I wish I could tell y'all, but come see this. But I feel like that's the moment that you really truly see her connection to Christopher, because you see his connection to her early on. But I'm also trying to do little subtle references to his behavior and his speech patterns and connecting to him. And you'll see me, like, for example, there's 2 different moments where I hold the book exactly like he's holding it. And I do that on purpose to show that she's part of him and he's part of her.
I love that. I love that. Brilliant. So good.
Frankly, I mean, you know, any teacher that cares about their students, which I really think most of them do, you know, I know my students become a part of my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know, and I keep up relationships with students for years. Like I'm happen to be talking to one right now.
Yeah. Fun fact. My freshman year of high school, Shannon, my theater teacher at that time, went on a long leave because of an illness with her family. And Shannon was like our permanent sub for like months and months, like
the entire semester until the last 2 weeks of school.
That's right. Yeah. And so I remember there was a junior that was in one act that had a bad attitude and like left and didn't come back or something.
He chose to play baseball.
Yeah. And so then Shannon was like, well, we need to fill this part. Hey, that Hispanic kid. And so I was like, I'll totally do it. And so Shannon signed me out of Spanish class every day so I could come to the theater class and rehearse the one act play of Much Ado About Nothing. And so my Spanish is not the best, but my acting's great. We always joke about that. And we talked about this, I can still forge your SM because, And we bonded over Grease too.
We did.
Yeah. Speaking of Trey says, #1 teacher right there. Bam. And then we found out the mystery. Okay, so what Dennis was talking about when he said hide your possessions, valuables, projectors, he meant because you're stealing the stuff from the theater. He said she's even got a screen hanging back there behind.
No, that's my screen. That's Kevin Phillips bought that from me years ago.
Maybe says she's coming on Halloween to see the show. I love it. We want audience, those of you who are watching this Thursdays at 3, and if you're like, oh, I want to get tickets or stuff like that, there still are a few tickets left. In fact, I went online right before and looked. So there's 2 tickets left for tonight. Friday is sold out. Saturday on Halloween. If you have no plans on Halloween, get tickets for the theater. There's 11 seats left. And then on Sunday, there's still 4 seats left for the show. So definitely call ALT's box office 806-355-9991 or purchase your tickets online, amarillo.littletheater.org. We want you guys to know that also ALT is literally hands down doing so much for safety protocol. I went and saw the show and I was like, man, no one is here. But I mean, that was here. It was a full house. There was about 170 seats sold, but I felt like there was no one there because everyone was so far away from me. And I felt so, it was great. It was fantastic. We, of course, have all of our ALT safety protocol on our website. Just click on COVID-19 protocols on the drop-down menu. You can click on all that information. We have a safety video, all that stuff to make sure you know exactly how we're going to keep you, our patrons, safe, how we're going to keep amazing actresses like Shannon Mashburn safe on stage, all of our volunteers. Everyone, of course, has to wear a face mask while attending ALTs, anything at ALT. Bam, right there. Fantastic. So when Shannon popped on, I was like, oh my gosh, I love your your yellow sweater, blah, blah, blah. And then it made me think, Shannon, let's talk about costumes.
Yes.
Ashley Devoid kind of was filling me in a little bit, but I just love the aspect of how important the colors are in the show, of what each character wears.
Yeah. So Alan, when we were talking about costumes, he said, I kind of want all of you in neutrals. And so everybody kind of started thinking about that. But Christopher says multiple times in the show that he hates yellow. And so, Alan said, we want to steer clear of that. And then he says multiple times in the show that his favorite color is red and metallic colors. And so all of us have kind of gone towards the grays and the blacks, the metallic colors, but then you see little pops of red, which is a tribute to the character Christopher. And when the character is kind of when they're in red, you see that that's somebody that Christopher is trusting and likes at that moment.
A positive kind of feeling towards that person.
And then if you see a character come on in yellow, you see that Christopher's mind has changed about that character.
I love it so much.
Yeah. And there's one character who really put a lot of thought into it. And so watch for the use of reds and yellows.
I love that I knew that before going in, and I was just like, oh my gosh, they're yellow now, they're red now. Like,
yeah.
So, like, I wanted to like have popcorn and just like be like commentating, like hear like just all of you, like when you play a DVD. DVDs, kids, were back in the day. We had discs that we would put into a DVD player, and we would watch movies on. There was no sort of digital download. There you go, boom. There was no Netflix or the Hulu, whatever it's called.
Ooh, we need to do an ALT Netflix account.
Oh, I don't even know what that means.
And show like all of the get
like
upload all of the videos. Yeah.
Past shows, that would be fun.
Man, I miss Assassins. I'm gonna watch that. Click.
Click. Instead of going, let me brush off my VHS. All the dust on it. So true. Mabry goes, gasp, yellow is a great color. It is.
I know.
Yep,
Mabry. I mean, look.
Bam, right there.
Yeah.
But I just loved, I wanted the like DVD or the director's cut, audio in my ear as I was watching it, just pick up all those little things like that. Because I know that there was, I'm sure, other choices that were made or other visuals with lighting or effects that I was just like, oh my gosh, this is such a cool aspect. Shannon, I was going to ask you, you've done a lot of shows both on the main stage and the adventure space. This is it feels like an intimate show. It almost feels like an adventure space show that was put on the main stage. What do you prefer, either stage? Do you prefer main stage? Do you prefer adventure space? Are you like, I don't care what stage I'm on?
Yeah, just put me in the show, Ricky. I
Right.
I don't know. They're both such different experiences.
Yeah.
Main stage is so bright and shiny and fun and family friendly, and everything over at the adventure space is a little bit grittier and is really fun to act. And I mean, I love all of the stuff that I've done on the main stage. I've been so lucky to be on the main stage. This show most definitely feels like an adventure space show, though.
Yeah.
Because of the way the set is built and just I don't want to give anything away, but we're completely enclosed in this tiny little space. And so it feels more like an adventure space show. And so it's kind of weird when the lights come on at the end and we see the audience and I'm like, oh, hey.
We're at the main stage.
I forgot. But I love, I've done some really fun stuff on on the main stage, but all of my very favorite roles that I've ever played have been at the Adventure Space.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
starting with Assassins and Urinetown. Urinetown was such an amazing experience.
So fun. Yeah,
and then of
sure.
course, you know, Mary Johnny Rafferty from Skull and Connemara that's probably my favorite show I've ever done. Just getting to work with Patrick and Caden and play that role and tell that story until Siobhan. And, you know, like I said, Siobhan's a dream role, but I don't know. We're just lucky. We're lucky that we have two amazing spaces.
And let's talk about that too, because obviously with COVID and everything that, you know, the pandemic and everything going on, y'all show is the first main stage show that we're doing. And so how does it feel to finally get to do live theater again?
Oh, it's weird. It's so strange coming back into that space after it being closed for 8 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, every single night in Magic Circle, Alan mentions, you know, that it's been 8 months. And that's a long time. I mean, that's a really long time. And we've all been so shut up in our houses and we can't touch each other and humans are poisonous and, you know, so fearful and all of that. And, you know, and it's a scary endeavor, what we're doing. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with a friend of mine earlier about how scary it is doing what we're doing, you know, right now. But ALT is being so safe about it that, you know, thank goodness we have this opportunity, you know. And boy, you just after being closed for 8 months, man, you don't take anything for granted anymore. You know, every single time I walk through those doors, I want to lay down and kiss the floor, you know, because we're able to be open and we're able to be creative. And for those of us who have these creative hearts and these creative minds, you know, it's just, you know, thank you to Alan and thank you to you and to the board for making it so safe and creating a way for us to be a part of something like the Curious Incident or, you know, Good People or the Humans, you know, because, you know, right now artists are fading away and it's just kind of scary.
Well, every day on the news, I get emails or I get updates. It's like this theater's closing, this theater's closing, this theater's shutting down and they've been in existence for 60 plus years, or this theater's not going to come back till fall of 2021 at the earliest. And it's like, oh, it's so scary.
Yeah.
Makes me so happy that we're still able to do something in Amarillo, Texas, and still be able to provide theater. Yes. Minimal audience. Yes, we're taking temperatures and face masks, and we're wearing masks up until right before, you know, our final dress rehearsal and all of those things. But so you're right. We're blessed that we're able to at least do what we're doing in any capacity.
Walking back into that building after it being closed for so long and smelling the smells, you know, and seeing everybody and wanting, Mom just said it's hard not to hug. And that's the hardest thing for all of us because we're huggy people is, you know, remembering, I can't hug you. And I really want to.
Or like Magic Circle. Like
Magic Circle, we stand there holding hands. I feel like we're all, you know, little petulant children pouting with our arms crossed.
Sure. No meet and greet, which is so hard. But there's no meet and greet.
I was going to say that, but about meet and greet, but let me say this first. Walking back through the doors of ALT, and please don't be offended by what I'm about to say, but it's like walking into church again.
Sure, yeah.
You know, or walking into your home after being gone for a long time. It's like, you know, being there in those walls, whether it's at the Adventure Space or at the main stage, it's like getting a hug. You know, and being welcomed. And it really is, all of us felt that way. We're like, we're home again. And about meet and greet, it just, I hate that we can't see our audience because that's where we really get to see what we've done. You know, that's the gift that we get is hearing that applause, which that's something else that none of us had heard until last week. And they started clapping and all of us just kind of went, you know, it was a sound we hadn't heard, and not getting to see everybody's faces and hug them and hear what they had to say. We miss it. So reach out. You know, I am encouraging people to reach out on Facebook or leave comments on the ALT page. You can comment and write a review of the show or comment about the show. email the actors, text the actors, because we want to hear from you. And, we want to tell you thank you for spending your time seeing our story.
Oh, completely agreed. And the great thing is you guys have 4 more chances to see it.
Yeah.
I know one of our, let me go back to my comments. Wesley says, I don't have time to see this show. Wesley, I wish you had time. If for some reason your schedule opens up where you can, I hope you get to. Theater, a sacred communal space where everyone is connected. I hear you, Shannon. It's so true, Carolyn. So true. But again, if you guys get a chance to see this fantastic, amazing show, beautiful performances turned in by all actors in this. Alan Shankles has done a fantastic job steering this ship, all the technical elements. Ashley DeVoyd as his assistant. It's just a beautiful, beautiful show that I think our world needs to hear more about. The ending of the show, without giving anything away, is just a beautiful moment where you're just like, yes, like everyone needs to hear this for sure.
Yeah, and there's a little secret moment between Trey and I that happens after the lights go out. That
nice.
Special. I love
it. Zeke says you never realize how much you miss meet and greet until you don't have it. So
That's
true.
Absolutely
it's so
true.
true.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
So while you're in the audience, even clap a little bit louder than you normally would, or just make sure that they feel all your love. Again, we want to make sure you.
Oh my gosh! While you're in the audience, please don't have conversations.
Actors can still hear people.
We can still hear you. We can still hear you. There's. I almost got thrown off on Saturday night and I know that they were talking about the show because I could hear what they were saying. But there were 2 women sitting somewhere in the audience. So we're talking like this and they were completely enthralled in the show. But I was like, I gotta concentrate.
Oh, I love it. It's live theater. Again, those are the chances to see it. 2 tickets left for tonight, 11 for Saturday, and then 4 for Sunday. Let's get the show sold out. Again, don't forget.
Alan wanted us to remind our people that are asking, there is a waiting list. And so, if the only time you can come is a show that's sold out, get on the call list, because if people cancel, Joe or Alyssa will call you and you'll get a chance to see this.
Exactly.
So just because it's sold out, don't think that you've missed your chance. Go ahead and get on that waiting list.
Exactly. And the great thing is every time somebody buys a seat, there is a bubble around you of no seats. We want to make sure you're aware of that. Somebody was like, I'm worried about sitting in a packed house. It's not. Mm-mm. It is minimal seating. There's literally a bubble of empty seats around every seat that's booked. So it's great socially distanced. Everyone takes their temperatures when you walk in. They have a digital version of the program. It's awesome. So really,
hand sanitizer everywhere,
literally everywhere.
And yes, there are concessions, but they're all packaged. They're all prepackaged and bottled, so everything is safe. Nobody's touching your stuff.
Super safe. Exactly. Yeah. Also, if you haven't been to the theater yet, to the main stage, check our safety protocol video. Call the box office. Pick up your tickets before the production. There is no will call at all. So definitely. If you have tickets for this weekend, pick them up before 5 o'clock on Friday. You can also print online or download to your smartphone a PDF version of the ticket. Super easy. Miss Melissa has been sending out information about that for any ticket holders. And new this year too, we have new entrances for the main stage. So you're going to enter entrance 1. That's the Turk lobby doors that face the north side of the building. If you have a ticket that's row A through G with seats 16 through 31, you'll enter there. If you have a ticket from H through O with 16 through 31, that was me on opening night. I entered through entrance 2. That's the left double doors of the main entrance. H through O, seats 1 through 15, will enter entrance number 3. That's the double door, the right double door at the front. And then if you have an A through G with 1 through 15 seat, you're going to enter through entrance 4. That's the doors that face the gazebo. And all those doors are easily numbered. And there is a volunteer there ready to scan your ticket and get you in quickly. It's so funny driving by the theater right now. It looks like we're promoting Michael Jordan because it has a big 23 on the front. And that's the only sports number that I know because of my sister, who was a big Chicago Bulls fan in the 90s. Yeah, so there you go. That's my one sports reference for today. Again, Shannon, I thank you so much, one, for not only being a part of Thursdays at 3 today, but for your fantastic performance in The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Again, guys, if you get a chance, see this show. It is so good. It's not only great to go back to live theater and having that experience, but it's icing on the cake when it's such a strong show, such a beautiful story, brilliant performances turned in by everyone. Carla says, come see me at entrance 4. So good to see people at the theater again. I love that. One of our amazing volunteers, Carla. I love it. Shannon, your mother and grandmother are going to need help with the doors.
In more ways than one.
I love it. I love it. Shannon will make sure you know exactly which door to go to. I love it. Well, again, hopefully everyone has a safe rest of your day. The roads will get a little icy tonight on the way home from wherever you're at, so be careful tonight. But still hope. Yeah, in the morning as well. Keep supporting ALT. We need your support now more than ever. Say a little prayer, send positive thoughts to the cast of Matilda. It's been a hard week for them. Let's get ready for whatever show gets put in that spot in the meantime. And let's still support the theater. It's a Wonderful Live cast. We do have in-person rehearsal tonight. Check your email. And so it's just literally tonight there's a performance. You guys are performing at the main stage. Good People is rehearsing in the Adventure Space. It's a Wonderful Live's rehearsing in Classroom C. So many things going on. So it's good. It's good to be at ALT. And what's great thing is everyone's doing it safely. Masks worn. The only people not wearing a mask will be the performers that are on stage tonight. So everyone else
wearing masks in the dressing rooms and backstage.
Yeah. So all the rehearsals, everything like that, we wear masks. We have all of the hand sanitizers, all that good stuff. It's just great. Alina, there's Alina says mashing.
Yeah, she was my student too.
And now she's one of our instructors, which is just fantastic. I love it. Teaching some hip hop. I love it. Well, Shannon, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Break a leg tonight for your second weekend. Tell the whole cast, break a leg again. Kudos. I'm going to try to come see it again on Sunday. So listen for my laugh and my clapping. I'll be cheering loud. And
listen for your laugh. We know when Jason's in the building.
So true. Oh, this chipmunk laugh of mine. But again, have a great run of your shows this weekend, and I cannot wait to see the show again, and cannot wait to be back at the theater and just hear these amazing this amazing story be told.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thursday.